Hey, what's up, guys? Tom from Friends from Work here, and I just had to let you know I do apologize about all the cuts you're gonna see throughout this episode. It's not because we're trying to hide anything or hide our opinions. Like if you've watched our episodes, we share our opinions pretty widely and pretty bluntly. But this camera it just stopped recording randomly throughout this episode, and I had to keep getting up and going, fixing it, and so that's why you're gonna see several cuts throughout this episode. I'm actually editing it right now. You can see it here. So I do apologize about that, but I just wanted to put this quick little moment before we get into the episode. So yeah, there's your warning, guys, and hope you guys enjoy it. We'll see you guys next time. Take care. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Friends from Work. I'm Tom, this is Sean, and on today's episode we're going to be discussing where, when, why, and how The Walking Dead fell off and just fell apart in shambles. If you watched our season 11 review, you guys knew this video was coming. I'm very excited to do this episode. But before we do that, do us a favor, leave a like and subscribe right now. Comment down below throughout the episode. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Links are on the screen and down below. And this is going to be a girthy episode, guys, because we're going to dive fairly deep into each season and break down where, when, what's good, what's bad, and all the stuff in between, because we want to give you guys the best and most thorough content we can. So what's going to happen is we're going to alternate between seasons. We're going to give highlights of each, and then between each season, we're going to actually have a discussion and just share our thoughts like we usually do. So Sean is going to take the lead for season 1, give us some highlights and overall unbiased thoughts before we have our little discussion about it.
All right, season 1, as we all know, is an iconic season. Rick wakes up in the hospital. What is it, 2 months later?
Yeah, something like that.
It's like 60 days. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was very.
I should have wrote that down, but it's like a month or something.
Yeah.
2 months later of apocalypse, zombies everywhere. Like I said, it was a phenomenon around. I remember, like, everybody's like, "What the hell is this show?"
So good.
But Rick wakes up at the hospital in his hometown. He had just been shot. They kind of do like some flashbacks back and forth. You see that he was shot in the line of duty as a police officer. He runs into a black guy and his kid, Morgan. I forgot what his son's name, but they help him, and they're kind of teaching him what's been going on. You find out that Morgan's wife is a zombie, and he can't seem to kill her, but Rick's on a mission to get his family. So he kind of splits paths with them, heads to Atlanta, then runs into another group of people, Glenn, I think it's Merle, T-Dog, a few other people, Andrea. We come later to find out that those people linked up with his family, with his best friend Shane and his wife and son. And Rick comes home. The heroes return, and you know what I mean. Rick doesn't know, not at the moment, but it comes to find out that we know that his best friend is now sleeping with his wife.
Yeah,
they both presumed him dead, and the shenanigans ensue. Weird stuff happens. It kind of seems tame. You know what I mean, as the seasons progress, but their camp gets kind of overrun by a few zombies.
Back then it was a lot.
Yeah, back then it was a lot. They lose
Andrea's
sister. Doesn't Carol's daughter? That's when she initially goes missing, right?
No, it's
in season 2. It's at the beginning of season 2.
Yeah,
right at the beginning. So I won't go into that. And then they make their way to the CDC.
Yes.
And the guy whispers in Rick's ear that everyone's a zombie, basically.
Yep.
And guy goes crazy, and he's like, "I'm just gonna kill all you guys, lock you in here, and blow this place up." So it's a weird, crazy twist to a crazy new type of show.
Yes.
And they obviously escape, take a grenade that they had found late, like some foreshadowing earlier in the.
Yeah, it was in the tank.
Yeah,
from that soldier.
Rick found it in the tank. Yeah, damn, I forgot it was that much longer away. Yeah, he was gonna kill himself.
Yeah.
And then Glenn saved him. Yeah, and I forgot it was that long ago when he found those.
I was saying, Frank Darabont was doing his shit back then.
And they escape, and then the season ends, and they're basically on the road again, trying to find the next plan.
It was Fort Myers. That's what it said. That was their plan.
Yeah, it was iconic first season. Nothing we had ever seen before. It was kind of riding the wave of social media, just kind of taking off then too. And it was the age of everyone's talking about everything they're doing, and so Walking Dead was the talk of the town. I remember
for years.
I remember my other buddy Tom. He had watched it and told me, like, you need to watch this, and I binge watched the whole first season. And then, like I said, I was on the edge of my seat. Season 2, there was no binging it because I was watching every episode on Sunday.
Some fun facts about it, or just one fact. The initial season had 6 million average viewers. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, regarding the first season, fun fact for me personally, when I was a lot younger, because Sean's like 4,400 years old, so and I'm obviously young and attractive and just a god. I was actually really scared watching the show when it came out, because I was about 11 or 12 when it first came out, and zombies were scary to me. Or like, because it looked so realistic. All right, fuck you. All right, so I didn't start watching it weekly until season 3. Well, I obviously won't get into what happens in season 3. But yeah, that was I've been watching it on Netflix, and it was just such, like Sean said, it's such a mind-blowing show, and it's
Nothing like it before.
Yeah,
like we'd had zombies before, but it just wasn't like
no,
this.
it wasn't. It was different. It just was very gripping and gritty, and just obviously we love the show minus its faults that we'll get into later on in this episode. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have much thoughts on season 1.
I mean, it's pretty short
Yeah.
and straight to the point. There's not, like I said, the him waking up, but it's just not nothing.
There was
really
not much
groundbreaking
filler
happening.
or
Yeah, it was just like he finds his family.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You realize Shane's fucking.
Yeah, it does set up the love triangle
Yeah.
throughout the next season. That's a
Yeah.
big part of season 2. And it does set up the chemistry and storylines with Rick and Shane and
Carl and Rick.
Carl, Rick. Yeah, that whole little family issue, like Lori, Carl, Shane, and Rick. That whole little dilemma sets up in season 1 for season 2. And speak about season 2, it actually had 9.1 million viewers. This is the farm season. That's why I labeled it. Rick's starts off. He still has his morals. I think that's a big thing we need to look at for the series. We see him just obviously go down a path. Yeah. So he still has his moral compass. He's like, we only kill the dead. We don't kill the living. It starts off at one of the obviously another iconic scene from Walking Dead is the highway. That was the season premiere when that was like the first huge herd we've seen. Like we were talking about earlier, where they had like a small like 7 to 10 walkers like invade their camp, and that was a lot for them. But this was like a huge herd, like a traditional Walking Dead herd that took over the highway where they're all scattered. They're all hiding under there. T-Dog cuts open his arm. Daryl comes over there and covers his body with a walker, so it covers up the blood scent. And that's when we actually lose Sophia, which is actually the big spark for the season. Yeah. So they lose Sophia in the woods, and that's like the whole season of just trying to find Sophia. So yeah, and then as they're looking for Sophia and they're walking around the woods, Rick and Shane are having like somewhat of an argument. I can't remember. And they're walking in the woods and they see Carl like at peace. They're like, "Oh, go touch that deer," and then he's about to go touch the deer, and then bam, Carl gets shot, and then we get introduced to the farm. Herschel, Maggie, Beth, the brother, I don't remember his name. The brother Otis, Herschel's wife or new wife, because his old wife died. Something like that. So yeah, and then they're at the farm for a while. Then eventually we see the blood start to boil between Shane and Rick and their different thoughts on how they should go about the world from now on. Obviously, Shane is like was adapted so quickly to his like kill or be killed. Like that's what his platform was. Is like we gotta make the harsh decisions. Who cares about everyone? Lori and Carl only matter. Fuck everyone else. That was like Shane's mindset. And so obviously, and then Rick's like, nah, we got to make sure we're protecting everyone. Like he still was very morally uplifting. I don't know if that's the right way to say, but he was still on like the lighter side of life. The old ways, you can call it.
Yeah.
And eventually we get to the point where Rick is trying to find Herschel because his wife died. She got attacked by walkers or something like that. Yeah. And he's at a bar drinking, and Glenn and Rick go into town to find him, try to help him out, and then they meet some two guys, the two bar guys, and they start like cornering Rick. Rick, seen it before being a cop, etc., just having that instinct as well, and those are his first human kills, is shooting those two down, and that was kind of the switch. That was. It was, I say, half a switch.
Yeah, where he knew like he had that in him. Like
yeah.
if you really, really pushed him to that, he would. He didn't want to, but those guys. That was another iconic scene in the show where it was like this epic standoff where like everybody knew what was about to happen.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was a very tense scene, iconic scene where, he said Rick gets his first kills.
Yes.
but it was this standoff where we all knew it was going to happen. Herschel knew, Glenn knew.
Yeah.
These guys, you could tell that they were going to kill them.
Assholes, yeah.
Then they were going to kill him. They weren't, and they were.
They're trying to take over the camp, take all their goods.
Yeah,
and shit,
exactly. And Rick had come to that realization that Shane had been telling him all along that like you said, kill or be killed.
Yeah.
And I just remember that episode very well. One of my favorite scenes in all. Like, the guy who even the bad guy was acting, he was really good.
Yeah.
And like I said, Rick was like just like a badass.
Yeah.
And I think that was more. I think that was the beginning of
the start of the turning
beginning
point.
of like his like becoming one of. I mean, we'll get into this later, but one of the best main characters that have ever been in a television series ever. And I think that was the start of it.
Yeah. So yeah, they're at the bar, and then they rescue that kid, rip off his off the thing, and that's the thing that happens for a little bit. Again, that's another strain on Rick and Shane's relationship. Again,
Rick's always saving people.
Yes, and Shane's like, "Fuck this guy!" Like he was with the guys that are trying to kill you. Like that's his argument. You're risking Carl and Lori. That was his whole.
He was
argument.
always trying to gaslight Rick by saying that, like, "Oh, you're putting your wife and kids' life in danger."
Every fucking time he sneezes, you're gonna get him sick, man. You fucking asshole. But yeah, so that was another thing. Dale dies. And yeah, Rick finally kills a human. Dale dies. Andrew is just a bitch the whole time. I hated Andrew. Andrew in the comics is fucking awesome.
Yes.
Andrew in the show, that was their first big fumble. Is Andrea of the whole show so far? Is Andrea? They fucked her up a lot. And then also, I'm jumping around here, but it was revealed that Sophia has been dead this whole time. She was bit probably in the woods at some point, and she's been in Herschel's barn. And then Shane, because he busted it open, started shooting it down. That was a big pivotal point. Got another strain on Rick and Shane's relationship.
Yeah. Where Shane basically wanted to just take the farm from Herschel and be like, I'm in charge now, motherfucker.
The hostile takeover. And so that happened. And then things happen here and there. The big highlight we'll get to the end is where Shane is done with Rick. He's done with this shit. He's like, all right, he's not ready for this world. I am, so I'm going to take over. I'm the leader. Lori's my woman. Carl's my son. Like, he has that delusion. He killed Otis too, obviously. That was another turning point.
I was fine with that, though, because, I mean, it sucked, but he did it to save Carl. Like, it was him or Otis, he thought.
That was early on.
And Otis was like 400 pounds.
Yeah.
Like,
and he broke his ankle and shit.
Yeah, like, he can't carry him. Like, he couldn't help him.
So, yeah. That was
honestly, in reality, like you said, he broke his ankle. He really spared him. Like, He shot. Oh no! Actually, he just
he left him. Okay, he shot him in the knee and got him.
You're right.
He didn't spare him. He tortured him, but I guess it makes sense.
It was doggy dog. I never thought that was this huge thing. They were like, the only shitty
part
was like he lied about it.
Yeah,
is that's what you find out is that he lied. If he would have just told the truth, like you know what I mean, he got caught. He's fat and he's slow.
Yeah.
He got caught. Sorry,
I'm athletic. You see
exactly. Sorry, you know what I mean. Does it really not make sense that the zombies caught him before they caught me?
But yeah, so then I had to bring that up because I totally forgot about that. And then Rick kills Shane, and that was a huge turning point. That's what brings Rick to beast mode, pretty much the start of it, where he starts building.
I guess I think it was similar to the other situation where like literally Shane again.
Yeah.
Like, Rick got put in another scenario where like he had to kill Shane. Like Shane was about to kill him. He was like telling him to pick his gun up. Like, so he didn't shoot him like an unarmed guy. Like
there was a fun fact about that. Shane said, or not Shane. John Bernthal said that. I don't know if it was if he came up with the idea or it was an alternate way. But what was going to happen was that same situation, but when Rick picks up his gun, Shane's gun that he left on the ground, it was going to be revealed that it was empty the whole time. He was trying to make Rick kill him so he can turn to that point to make sure he protects, has that killer instinct in him.
Get, like, bait Rick into doing it so he didn't feel so bad.
Yeah. So that was a little bit interesting, but either way, ended great. And then actually Carl shoots the walker thing, and that's when Rick finds out the CDC guy was telling the truth, and that's when Rick's speech came out. That's when he comes a little dark. He's like, "This isn't a democracy anymore. Like, I'm in charge. Like, you want to go fucking do? I killed my best friend for you, fucking assholes. Like, I do. We say what I do, or fucking send me a postcard." That was a badass scene. That was when we see Rick starting to build as a character. He's like, "I'm not fucking around anymore." But yeah, that season 2. I know a lot of people. We made some great highlights here, but I've heard a lot of debate, a lot of discussion saying there's a slower season and they extended their stay on the farm, which I agree with. Compared to the comics, the farm wasn't there a long time. But But yeah, I mean, that was one of my favorite seasons. I just loved Shane was a big part of it, and just the character dilemmas and story building they were doing there. That's why I enjoyed it a lot. If you watched our episode regarding spin-offs, obviously it's a little hypocritical when I was talking about House of the Dragon, but again, that's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But Walking Dead was a huge cup of tea of mine, and just that dialogue and story building and all of that around. That's why I really enjoyed it, because there's a lot of character arcs in that. But do you have any opinions?
Well, season 2 I thought was, again, we were talking about it, I thought it was slow. I thought, as a person who read the comic book, I thought it was a waste of time to be staying on the farm for that long. I really truly hated, that Shane died, because they were changing things in the comic book. I think it would have been kind of cool if he stayed around. I don't know. They kind of like written it to where it was him or them, but I always thought Shane was a cool character, and he basically was Rick before Rick went savage.
Yeah, but I think that's the whole point.
Yeah, and
that was the point.
What
of the
annoyed me
too.
was that I hate when they do this whole like a girl tear his best friends apart. Like, in reality, I don't think that would happen. Like, two dudes who are truly best friends, like, you would have been gone for 2 months. They would have fucking hugged it out and been like, sorry, bro. Yeah, fuck her.
But that was more so Shane pushing.
Yeah, but
like Rick he understood it.
Yeah, but I mean, that was the writing where like they could have just been like, he came back and everybody knew they were fucking anyway.
Yeah.
And it came out earlier, and Lori and Shane been like, yeah, we're fucking.
But the issue was that Shane still wanted her.
I know, but what I'm saying is like, you talk it out, you figure it out. Like, hey, bro, like, you have to get Andrew or something.
No, I agree.
Get you back, like, your
yeah, I
sister
agree
or
with
something.
that. But with the character,
Well, I'm just saying. I think
was,
in reality, I think that's what would have happened. I think this was like this whole thing where like an enraged lover who, you know what I mean, wants to kill isn't normal.
I mean, that's an argument for like everything. Though.
Yeah,
that's a show. Like,
I don't know. I thought that was.
That's not a.
I don't think that would tear, like, I have best friend, and I don't think that would tear us apart. Like, if that actually happened, yes, I would be fucking heartbroken. He fucked my bitch, but after I found out what had been happening,
you've been dead
and
for
I was
2 months.
And like, you know what I mean. You find out Shane's the one who saved him by wedging the thing in front of the door so nobody could get in there. But season 2 was okay. I mean, it expanded on the world. It gave Rick some iconic moments for him to start flipping that switch and know that, like, I have that in me to be evil. But like I said, it was very uneventful for the most part, and I thought they wasted a little too much time on the prison.
I would say they overextended a little bit.
The farm.
But yeah, season 3.
Season 3 is they're on the road. The farm gets burned down, right?
That was the finale. Yeah.
The finale gets burned down. They find the prison. There's some prisoners there at the time. Some of them are bad, some are good. One of them kills 2 kids, or that's in the comic book.
That's in the comics,
the comic book. But they basically take the prison back from the zombies and the prisoners. They kill some, one stays with them.
2, it was the big black guy. And
2 stay, and then they kill 1. A helicopter crashes, and that's how they meet the governor's group.
That's how we're introduced.
That's how we're introduced to the governor's group. Yes. I thought we were introduced when Andrea is lost at the end of Herschel's thing or whatever. Andrea's lost, right? She gets lost in the woods.
She's with Michonne though.
She finds Michonne, and that's how we get introduced, because they find the
But that's when we found out Governor's an asshole. That's when we find out with the helicopter crash.
Andrea meets up with Michonne where she's introduced. They're actually living in the governor. Woodbury, yeah. Then later on, Glenn and Maggie are traveling. They get captured. And the governor, like, he doesn't like sexually assault her. He just
molest.
He feels her up and shit. Like, wasn't Glenn watching, or was it Glenn in the other room?
No, he was in the other room just hearing her.
Yeah, he could hear it. Then they eventually. Then that's when Rick and the group are like, Michonne gets out at this point. Michonne has escaped. Andrea didn't want to leave, so Michonne leaves without her. Yeah. Then runs into Rick and his boys, and they're like, "Hey, I know Andrea, you're joining us." So Michonne's familiar with Woodbury, so she takes Rick and the group back. Michonne stabs the governor in the eye.
Yeah.
Kills his daughter, his zombie daughter, and they retrieve Maggie and Glenn and get out of there.
Yeah.
And
Merle and Daryl, we have to bring out Merle. Back.
Merle and Daryl. Merle's there, and they run into each other. I forgot about
they didn't meet at the initial grabbing, the snatch and grab tactic, whatever they were doing.
Then season 3, Lori dies, giving birth to Judith. Carl has to shoot her because she turns into a zombie.
Big pivotal point for Carl.
Yeah, again, having to shoot his mom. And that's the finale, right? That's the finale. When
That's
his
the
mom,
mid-season finale.
no, when his mom dies,
Or
okay.
not even. I think they didn't really say that. That was like an episode actually. It wasn't even a finale.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then people start getting sick at the prison.
No, that's season 4.
Is it 4?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
What else happens is we get introduced to Tyrese and Sasha.
Oh yeah, yeah. The fucking after he gets stabbed in the eye, Woodbury kind of like people are teetering on the other.
Yeah, because what
They're-
initially happened is Tyrese and Sasha, they had their group and they walked into the prison with the big open hole area, and then I forgot. Rick kicks him out because his wife Lori just died, so he's like he sees her, he's like get out, and that's why they leave, and that was that, and they go to Woodbury for a bit, and then they leave again, or one of them or something like that. They were about to leave. It was something.
Yeah,
like
one
that.
of
I
them
forgot.
leaves, and then it forces Tyrese to leave because
Yeah.
Sasha's leaving. Something like that.
One of them wanted to leave and one of them didn't.
Yeah,
That's
that was
what
a
it
long time away. But season 3, I thought was kind of a little boring.
Week by week, it was so boring. I remember
Yeah.
that. But that's why I have to do when we discuss this. I have to go by the week by week thing, just because that's how I watched it, and that's the fair analysis.
Yeah.
If you're releasing a show, it's week by week. Back then,
Yeah, I thought season 3 kind of dragged.
it did. Also, I want to bring up the fact that this is where we start to see Carol's arc a little more.
Oh yeah, Carol. That's what. Wait, no, is that? No, I was thinking
Carl.
Carol. No, you're right. You already said it was in season 4. Never mind.
Yeah, this is where we start to see Carol's growth. Obviously, we saw in the first 2 seasons she was a whiny little bitch. A lot of people, a wimp. I don't want to say bitch. She was never a bitch. She was whiny,
She was a pushover.
helpless. Yeah, just a damsel in distress all the time. And then season 3, we actually see everyone like really gritty and dirty. That's the first time we've really seen them like that. They've usually been clean kept in a way, so to speak.
Let Rick do all the dirty work.
Yeah, Carol's growth. We see her actually killing some walkers, stuff like that. And then we see that darkness slowly start to go into Carl. They have the mini battle with Woodbury a few times. Merle also dies this season as well, because he died when he was taking Michonne back, but actually let her go. That was a thing. And yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. I'm looking right here. I'm trying to think what the finale was. That was they had a battle and nothing happened. Like they broke the gates and that was that. It was about the viewers was 12.4 million for this season. I wanted to bring that up. I'm looking at my Andrea doesn't die this season, does she? Yeah, she
that's
did.
What happens that's the finale.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the finale. She dies in that room while the governor's attacking. She's trying to get out.
Yeah.
But that guy, like, he leaves her in the room with the guy who's turning into a zombie or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Milton.
yes.
Yeah. Shout out
Okay.
Milton. He was cool.
Yeah.
there's a lot of shit that
that was the
happened.
finale. Yeah. Andrea dies.
Yeah.
Because she's in that room locked
And
with
she
the
got
zombie.
bit
Yeah.
last second. But yeah, overall thoughts for it. I agree with Sean. There was some lag points. Watching week by week. This is where it becomes like a familiar theme with Walking Dead is their lag points and not filler. I want to call it filler, just lulls and dragging shit along. This is like I would say this is the very small starting point of it. Was season 3 in my opinion, and they kind of fixed it season 4ish. But yeah, overall season 3 wasn't that bad.
I wouldn't say it was bad. I just thought it was a little boring.
Yeah, it definitely kind of dragged out. Because in the comics, the governor was very intense. He was still intense, but it was very slowed down. Obviously, it's hard to compare and contrast the comics versus the TV show. But yeah, so season 4. This is the prison part 2. I called it. It averaged 15.7 million viewers. I'm pretty sure. Let me look. Oh no, okay, no, this is not the highest season. They actually have a lot more after this. The prison is grown into a full-blown community because last season when they had that battle, whoever was at Woodbury and wanted to join them, they were more than welcome to.
Yeah.
And they started building community. We see Farmer Rick. We're introduced to Bob. Carol's arc grows more. Sean was talking about earlier. They had the sickness. There's like whatever
Really
the flu.
bad fever
Yeah.
that was going around killing
And
people.
so everyone was dying from it. And so Carol was putting everyone down. No one knew who it was. It was like, who's this asshole putting everyone down? And it was revealed eventually it was Carol. And Rick's like, well, I don't want to kill you. You're an OG. So he sends her on her own way and just says live at this house, this and that. She didn't know what to do, and that's when we see when he did that. What was it? I forgot his actual name, but Penguin from Gotham. You remember Penguin?
Oh,
That actor?
Cobblepot,
Yeah, that actor. He was in the Walking Dead. And then Governor attacks prison. We see him like I don't want to get into his backstory,
but he goes to another community.
Yeah,
builds it up.
Yeah, builds it up. They have a tank. Then we see the actual battle, and this is where I was saying earlier with season 3 it lagged. This all should have happened in season 3.
Yes.
They overextended their story.
Yeah, I think they hit some
it out.
momentum, and then they're like, all right, we're stretching this to the
Yeah,
down
and
instead of going by the
they
comic book.
overstretched it a
Yes.
lot. They waited
Season 2
a
and
season
3.
and a half.
Yeah, or the farm arc and the prison arc they did like twice as long as they should have.
I agree. So yeah, then prison happens. Herschel dies, gets decapitated. That was a sad death. Michonne kills the governor after he was basically beating the shit out of Rick. It's funny, like in the comics and in the show, Rick's like a shorter guy, and like every villain he fights majority of the time, like hand-to-hand combat, he could not fight for shit. Like he gets his ass beat all the fucking time. It's so funny. I didn't realize that. And post-war, the Governor War, the entire group is split up. Oh, I forgot to say, we got introduction to Bob.
Yeah, you said that.
I did?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, post-war, the group is scrambled in the fields because the place is blowing up. Herds of zombies are coming in. They can't wait around to gather everyone. They just, we got to go.
Yeah.
And then this is where we start to see, again, Carl's character develop more. Especially when it was just him and Rick.
Rick's fucked up.
Rick is fucked up. He's sleeping. And this we kind of see Carl grow, blaming Rick for all that shit. And then again, where we see, I kind of say like Shane's attributes to Carl from whatever when he knew him, that kind of kicking in more. And like some from his dad too when he saw him kill some guys.
Like Beth is with Daryl, right? She gets scooped, right? At the end
Beth.
of season 4.
Beth and Daryl.
Carol and Tyrese.
Carol
and they got Judith, right?
Yeah, Carol, Tyrese, Judith. And the little
girl,
girls, the two girls.
She doesn't have to kill one of them, right?
Yeah.
Or no, well, one of the girls kills the other girl, and then Carol kills that girl.
Was that this season? Yeah, damn.
I think it was season 4, yeah.
Season 4, yeah. It was like...
right at the end, not the finale, but towards the end.
It was the second half, yeah. And, yeah, that happened. Who else? It was... Glenn was solo. Then that's actually... That goes right into my next thing. We get an introduction to Abraham, Rosita, and Eugene. Yeah. And then, we just saw a lot of character growth in general. And this, I didn't realize, I thought this was the 5th season, but I think going through this, I think 4 is probably one of my favorite seasons because I think they had the least amount of filler. Because that's the same season when Michonne eventually meets up with them again. And they're on the road and Daryl's with that biker group. Yeah. And the claimed guys. And that's when fucking Rick bites the guy's neck off. I didn't realize I was in this season too. And so that happens. And then eventually everyone comes to the end. Everyone, they're on the train tracks. Yeah, they all end up at Terminus together in the same cart. And that's when we find out like they're all cannibals. They're all bad guys. And the ending's, you don't know who you're fucking with. Well, in the comics, you don't know who you're fucking with. But basically, great cliffhanger to end off on. Overall, this... rereading and going back through the show, I didn't even realize how good this season was. There was a lot of intense moments.
It was good, yeah.
It brought a lot of
recapping it. I thought that was 2 different seasons.
Yeah, but
a lot of happened in season 4.
Yeah.
That was a really good one. The Terminus thing, like the impending, like they thought that was going to be salvation.
Yeah.
And it being a trap was a crazy finale. Like you said, when they're on the road, that's pretty epic. Beth gets snatched by some random cop car.
Yeah, that was actually season 5. No, it was 4. You're right.
Yeah, right at the end, right? Because it's before Daryl meets with the like she gets scooped and then he like meets up with the scavengers or whatever the fuck they're called, the claim guys.
Yeah, I call them claimed. But season 4, least amount of filler. And this is what we talked about earlier. I think that's where they learn from their mistakes very quick. They're like, and obviously they unlearn it. But that's where they learned from their mistakes in the initial, after that, like, okay, we hear your complaints. We are dragging stuff along. Yeah, now these next few seasons, we ain't dragging. Yeah. So they definitely kicked that in. Also, this is a big point for season 4. Carol's still out. She wasn't at the prison war. She came back after and she saw all the smoke and everything like that. That's how she saw Tyrese. That's what it was. And
Yeah, she's with Tyrese.
yeah. So they're out of it. And yeah, they're watching. This is season 5. I'm sorry.
Yes.
This is your part.
You ended it. Season 5. The group is captured in Terminus. It ends. They end up in Terminus. Obviously, it wasn't what they thought.
No.
It jumps right into it where they're all
yeah.
gagged and on their knees, and they're going down the line, and this guy's whacking guys in the back of the head and slitting their throat.
And that's where we see Oswald Cobblepot again. I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah. And it's like super intense.
Yeah.
And then that's when Carol goes fucking savage mode.
Yeah.
And you find out, like you said, she wasn't with them. She's been watching this whole time in the background. And Rick buried guns, right? And she found them, and she goes like fucking
Rambo on them.
I'm trying to think of who, like Black Widow, and just
John
like murks
Wick,
everybody.
yeah.
She like sets off a bomb.
She shoots fireworks into that.
She
propane
opens
tank.
the gate up and then sets off fireworks so all the zombies will go in there. And at that same time, there's an explosion, and that's when Rick gets this moment where he breaks free and fucking releases everybody, and that's how they escape. So that was that was one of the
phenomenal
best
season premiere.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was a fucking crazy season opener.
Yeah.
And Walking Dead has a lot of them, and that one was crazy. Where
Definitely
it was
top
really
3.
intense. Where like they're just like I said, I can remember it so clear where he's whacking the guys in the back of the head with a baseball bat and then slitting their throat.
I remember sitting with my family. We turned that fucking TV up.
Yeah,
it was like holy shit.
So like I said, but that goes pretty quickly. That's like an episode, really.
Yeah.
They get through Terminus. They basically set it on fire, ruin it. Rick gets Judith back from Tyrese. He's relieved. We find out Beth was abducted by like some police officers, and they're forcing her to work at the hospital. And that is basically that's a mid-season film. Like the beginning of this season is them trying to get her back, right?
Yeah.
The first half of the season is they find that out.
We get introduced to Father Gabriel too.
Father Gabriel, and then the group is on their way to that hospital to get Beth back, basically.
Yeah. So what happened at that point? What it was split. So Abraham, Eugene, Rosita, and Glenn and Maggie went with them because at the time we all believed that Eugene had the cure. If you didn't read the comics,
I was gonna say that.
And then they come on later. We're like way later, but yeah.
Yeah, Eugene admits he lied at some point in season 5. He admits that he lies about the cure, and that's when they all go to meet back up with the regular group. Because and then like Abraham's about to beat his ass. They basically rescue Beth, but she gets killed in the point
she wanted
of it,
to be some cool dumb bitch.
making the whole fucking first half of the season pointless.
Yeah.
Which I did not like.
That was a big that was probably the first controversial death they had.
Yeah, it was just very weird. That felt like some shit. Like she had beef and they wrote her off.
She didn't want Noah. Because they wouldn't allow Noah to leave.
to come with, and it was just very weird. I don't know. I don't like it. So they basically leave there like, all right, bygones. You killed Beth's dead. You're the bad guy. So Beth dies. It was really stupid. And then so they're back out on the road and they bump into I wrote it down. Aaron from Alexandria. He's following them. Rick catches him. And
this is season 5, Rick. Let's fucking remember
Yes,
that.
exactly. So Aaron's in grave danger.
Yeah.
Rick doesn't know what to think about him. Aaron's job is to find groups and bring them back to Alexandria and kind of integrate them. Rick's very, very wary of that, but I forgot what changed his mind. But eventually they go with him back to Alexandria.
It was probably Glenn. I think it was something like that.
Something like that. They take all their guns. They all get interviewed. And Rick's like just lying his ass off.
Yeah, it's so funny. No, it was Carol.
Carol was lying her ass off, but so was Rick too.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't. Like, he was just like not telling the whole truth. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she, the lady's like, you've been out there though. You're tough. We're gonna make you the sheriff. So Rick becomes the sheriff of Alexandria. There's a nice lady that he kind of likes.
Jesse.
That's husband's beating her ass. Rick beats him up the first time, and then eventually he shoots him. After that guy shoots somebody else, right, on accident, or kills somebody.
Yeah,
and then Rick
Deanna's
kills him.
husband.
Yeah, Pete kills Deanna's husband on accident.
Slices with Michonne's sword.
Yeah, and then Rick shoots him in front of everybody, and then Rick does another one of his speeches like, I'm the captain now, type of shit. And he's the only one who's allowed to walk around with a gun at the moment. That was another iconic moment where, like I said, he's like, I'm the fucking captain now.
Morgan,
I think that was a finale, right?
That was a season finale. No, mid-season, because during that time.
No, the mid-season finale is when Beth got shot.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Because during that time, Morgan's back, by the way.
Oh yeah, Morgan.
Season 3, he was back too.
Yeah,
it was a glimpse.
But yeah, they run it. Yeah, he's back now.
Yeah.
Season 3, they run into him when he's crazy in that fucking house.
Yeah, because they were going to war with the governor, but never went to war.
But they let him go.
4.
Yeah, this one, Morgan was trapped with another guy, and then he shows back up at some point. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the end. Rick ends up killing Pete, and but really that was insignificant. But it's just another savage Rick moment where he's like, I'm in charge of Alexandria now, and Alexandria is a great community. They got electricity, real houses, water, a fence, and Rick is slowly turning into Shane, where like Shane was going to take Herschel's farm, and now Rick's like, I'm the boss of this shit.
Did you know who I am?
You don't know what the fuck you're doing.
My beard's shaved, but I'll still kill you. I got my red machete, bitch. But yeah, no, that was a great season. Trying to think, that was a very intense season.
Yeah, a lot goes on, a lot happens, and like that's when Rick is turned into just like full savage Rick. The whole time he's at Alexandria, he's just like every meeting they have, they're like
always trying to start shit.
Yeah, he's like, these people don't fucking know what they have. He's like really mad that he's not in charge, and it's like it kind of feels like he's Shane when he's just like like
we'll take it over.
Yeah, he's like really annoyed with how they weren't doing it the way he would do it. Yeah. And he eventually reaches his breaking point after he shoots Pete in front of everybody, and he's like, "I'm the boss now."
Well, because they had a big fight, and then he had a speech like that, but Michonne knocked his ass out.
Yeah,
that's what happened at first.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
because he had him at gunpoint, like he's all bloody. And
after he beat Pete's at like him and Pete get into a fight.
They went through a window and shit.
And he's beating. Yeah, you're right.
Because he snuck a gun. He didn't have a gun.
Yeah, at first he didn't have it. Yeah, and then didn't she give him a gun? Deanna gives him a gun right away, so he didn't sneak it. I think he was allowed to have it.
No, he had a gun, but he also had a sneaky gun. That's what it was.
Okay.
Because he had it tucked. That's what it was. Because he would have just put it in his holster.
I forgot Michonne knocks him out because he's going crazy because Pete's beating his wife, and then Rick like defends her, and then everyone's like, I don't know. Rick just goes a little overboard. That's why people were
Rick overboard?
He was going. But season 5 was amazing.
There goes your fucking.
Season 5 was amazing. I think that was I don't know if
One
it's the peak, but the start of the peak of like just the iconic show. Like I said, Rick had so many moments where like he was just a fucking savage.
Yeah, again, similar to season 4, this is when they corrected their mistakes and
no filler.
There was probably a couple, but it was very small.
They were just doing like instead of dragging one arc for 2 seasons, they were doing like 2 arcs in 1 season. Yeah, and I think that's what they should have stuck to.
And this season actually averaged 15.8 million viewers. Yeah. That was a great season overall. I didn't realize how intense it was, but obviously here we go. Season 6. This is actually their biggest season. Had 18 million watchers. It was the biggest season to date. Rick starts off with dealing with the huge herd. It was like in the pit, member. It was like a million of them. And I remember week by week that whole issue was like the first half of the season that dragged a lot.
Yeah, it was kind of.
I remember that watching week by week. I was like, "Are we fucking kidding? Like, it's a fucking herd. We know you're gonna be fine." Like that was annoying. And then we get a Morgan backstory episode 4. That was a cool episode. I enjoyed it. It was a filler, but it was enjoyable. And then obviously that whole Walkers thing went to shit because the wolves were introduced. We thought it was the Whisperers for comic readers because they had the W's, but it was actually just wolves or some psycho group, whatever.
Yeah, the wolves.
Yeah, and so they attack Alexandria, and that breaks down their whole initial plan and shit like that. They crash a hole in the gate.
The wall,
yeah. And then, read it right here. Yeah, again, they get inside the walls. They're killing Alexandrians, and then obviously all the walkers are in now. Everyone's trapped inside. They're all split up. So the group that we really focused on was Carol and Morgan were together where they're having a talk about kill or not kill, whatever. Who cares? Carol's going savage mode, by the way. We didn't highlight that in season 5. That was probably my favorite Carol arc. She was like playing like how she used to be like, just a silly guy.
Well, yeah, it starts in 4 where she kills that little girl, kills her sister or whatever.
And then she pops that bitch.
And then she shoots her, and then...
But when she gets to Alexandria, it was so funny because she was playing like her ditzy stuff.
Oh, yeah, she's like making cookies. She keeps making that kid cookie. Oh, yeah, that shit was funny.
Like, that shit was so funny.
Yeah, I remember that now. And then like she's got a sneak gun too, right? And
she's the one who started it.
Yeah, she threatens that kid. Yeah, and when she catches him doing something, she catches. Oh yeah,
like she's like, I will duct tape you to a tree.
That's what she said. I was like, what the fuck?
He's 7. Like, what are we doing? Oh, it's so funny. That was prime Carol was
Yeah.
that. Season 5 showed a lot of highlights. But anyways, this is where we see like again Carol again. I think she had one of the best arcs of the whole series.
Yeah.
Her growth was phenomenal. Where we see her just like murking wolves. She dressed up as a wolf, did the W thing, and she's like, "Oh hey, where'd you go?" And she's like, "Bitch," like murking everyone. Morgan's like, "Let's tie him up," and then one of them was tied up, and Carol went like as like it's just some funny ass shit. So yeah, then obviously the big point of season 6 was when, and this wasn't a finale by the way, this was a mid-season. This is like an episode. Was when Carl got shot in the eye because Sam, that was the little kid's name, was being a little pussy. He was annoying the whole season. Fuck him, I'm glad he died. But that was his whole point. He was a scared little kid. That was the point. He was crying when they were trying to sneak through him and they were all holding hands. And then he's crying, and then Jesse starts actually crying because she just saw her son die. And then she gets taken by walkers. And then Rick has to, like, is crying there silently because he loved her and all that. And then Jesse's, like, gripping onto Carl because she's, like, getting eaten, so she's just stuck. And he's like, Dad, Dad. And Rick has to chop off her fucking arm. And then we get Ron. I think that was, Ron was his name.
He shoots Rick, yeah.
He's trying to shoot Rick, but Michonne actually stabs him behind, and then the ricochet bullet goes off. He doesn't get shot. And then we cut to where we see Carl say "Dad," and then bam, his eye's gone. That was a big moment. And I'm good. Everyone remember that point. Obviously, you're gonna remember it. But the reaction to what Rick had with when his son, he thought his son died, versus later on, we're gonna discuss that because that's a very big point in the show that we have to discuss. But yeah. That happens. Rick goes again. Season 5. Rick just fucking murking everyone, or murking all the zombies because he's just mad. So he's like, I can solo 1,000 zombies. I'm good. And then we get to that was the first half, by the way, of season 6. I did not even realize. Like I said, the first few episodes dragged, but if you're binge watching it, you're not gonna feel it. Week by week, you definitely feel it, which is disappointing. I'm looking right here. We get an intro to the Hilltop and Jesus. Deanna dies. She got bit in this season. And then Michonne happens. Rick and Michonne finally get together. And we get an introduction to the Saviors as well. I think that's in the second half, where they start taking out their outposts and shit.
Yeah.
Because he thought that the singular guy was Negan, and they took out like 3 of their fucking outposts. Like, they killed them in their sleep and shit. Like, they killed a lot of guys. Like, and then at the season finale, we get introduced to Negan, and probably one of the best cliffhangers of all of TV history,
if not the best one.
Yeah, where they went anymore, and you did not know who died. And the cool fun fact, so it didn't get spoiled. Like, only maybe 2 people know. They shot every single person in that lineup getting their head bashed in. They shot all of it because only like the Scott Gimple and Robert Kirkman, whoever, like a very small, like 5 people
except
knew.
for like Rick and Carl, like the people we knew for a fact were getting their head bashed in.
But yeah, so
Maggie.
Yeah, so like
It was probably everybody else, all the Sasha, everybody.
I mean, probably the only people they shot like everyone though. Like they obviously knew Rick and Carl ain't gonna die. I could have believed Maggie. I mean, with who died. But I know. But regardless, they shot all of that so they didn't get spoiled. Like they closed the set because they were shooting that outside originally, but then they recreated it to a T in a set, closed studio, like. And that never got spoiled. Obviously, you're a comic reader, you know it.
That
but
is
they
true.
Held
it
that
did
shit
not.
in.
It did not. And I remember like
every
couple days I was looking online trying to see like who was it. Like I knew it was gonna be Glenn.
Yeah.
And I just knew it was. Just made the most sense to me.
Yeah.
Out of everybody who was sitting there. But I mean, if they knew they were gonna kill Carl, they should have just fucking did him. Like,
yeah. But yeah, season 7's here, so this is
season 7. Like you said, the season 6 was the peak of the viewing, but I believe season 7 premiere was the most watched episode there.
Probably
individual where, like you said, it opens up and Negan picks his victim, and he beats Glenn and Abraham to death.
Yeah,
Abraham goes out like a G. Glenn does too, a little bit. They both don't go down in one swing, and. It was crazy. Glenn was probably the show's most beloved character.
He was. He was the heart of the group.
Even though, if anybody followed the show at all, you knew he was going to die. I think that really did hurt a lot of people, and they didn't want to watch it.
Yeah,
after that.
They lost it. Like I'm looking at the numbers, it went down from 18 million to 11.3.
Yeah, like
after Glenn's
death. I think
death.
people really didn't like that for whatever reason. I don't know why.
You got to bring up the fact. Lean the other way.
Yeah, I have been.
You got to bring up the fact, the reason. Well, Abraham was originally picked but Glenn died because of Daryl. That's a big point in this.
What did Daryl do?
He got up and punched Negan.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because he killed Abraham. Even though Negan was like, "Don't do anything, or I'll kill someone else," and Daryl
yeah,
does.
I actually forgot about that. I thought he just took a swung and killed somebody else because Rick had already killed so many people.
No, it was just supposed to be
But
Abraham.
yeah, you're right. Daryl was all fucked up too, right? Like,
not yet.
not yet. Oh.
Or maybe he was. He was something like that.
He
was
been captured. He wasn't
Yeah.
with the group, right? They captured him.
Yeah,
at a
he
different
captured
time.
him. Yeah, you're right.
And like I said, that's where the downfall, the viewership happened.
Mm-hmm.
Negan then takes Daryl prisoner because he knows him and Rick are boys, so he thinks that's a good way to keep Rick in line. Daryl's working on his plan to escape. We meet Ezekiel. He's got his badass lion.
Shiva.
That's when they start. We're gonna team up and take Negan out.
Yeah, that's the second half where they like start doing that.
But yeah, that's what the plan when they meet. That's why they go to meet.
Yeah.
Is they're all gonna put together a plan to take out Negan. Negan shows up a couple times at the compound,
So
swinging
funny.
his dick around.
God.
So many iconic moments. You see Rick is at his breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
He threatens to kill Carl in front of him multiple times.
And then even the funny part was when that happened, he was like, "Go ahead, kill him. I'll still kill you." Like I remember when Rick said that, he was like, "Kill him," or he's like, "You can kill my son, but I'll still kill you."
Yeah.
He's like, "Today, tomorrow, chop off my hand. I don't care."
Yeah.
It was cool shit like that.
Yeah, like I said, where Rick was just like, even when, like, I think that's why Negan had this level of respect for him, where he was like, you kind of have to respect that, like, you're not going to be a coward and, like,
Yeah.
pretend, like, even though you know that's what he's going to do, at least he's being a man and saying, like, you know I'm going to kill you if you kill my son. I'm going to say that I am. I'm not going to be a coward.
Yeah.
And, like I said, I don't know how the viewership got down because I think the dynamic between Rick, Carl, and Negan was tremendous.
Amazing.
Negan was great on screen and all the scenes. Really until like that arc was over and they dragged him. I don't know. They had to make
we'll
him.
get
the,
it.
They
We're
had to
about
make
to
him the
hit
main
it.
character of the show. But either
Yeah.
way, season 7 was crazy good to me. I thought the battles back and forth between Negan and Rick and what they were doing were dope. With Negan and Gabriel trapped in the thing and they worked their way out. The saviors trying to double cross Negan. Negan fighting that dude one-on-one.
Oh, Stephen Oak.
Well, yeah, was that season?
Yeah.
Trevor from Grand Theft Auto, right?
Stephen Oak, yeah.
He fights him, you know what I mean? He tries to double cross. He thinks Negan's dead, and he tries to take
Yeah.
Negan's place. And Negan fights him one-on-one to the death. And,
That was good.
Kills him. But all in all, I thought season 7 was amazing. I was weird that's where the downfall started.
Yeah, that's why I put
But,
when it starts going to drag.
Yeah. At the end, that's the end of that season is when they beat them, right? Or no, they don't beat them at the end of this season.
Yeah, they do. Or no, they don't.
No, they don't. They beat them at the end of season 8. I'm trying to think of what I don't know. I don't have what the finale.
They had a battle.
They do have they have a battle where Rick shows where they show up to the Savior's place and they fuck it up, right?
Yeah. So what happened is,
Wait, no, the finale's Carl dies, right?
No, that's
The
next
mid-season
season.
8. Okay,
Yeah.
mid-season finale in 8.
something like that. I'll look in a sec. But yeah. So what happened was they invade. They have their battle in the first half. They shoot it up. They trap them in with all the walkers. They escape. They come back. And then they start shooting up the place. And then initially Alexander is winning, but the trash people double cross.
Oh yeah,
Rick.
that's right. What are they? The scavengers, right?
I call them trash
the
people. I don't know
scavengers,
what to call them.
They double crossed them in the end. They were supposed to be.
But then the Kingdom and Hilltop show up to save the day and all that.
yeah, to at least push Negan back out.
Yeah, and then So I kind of know Negan was driving out, just giving the fucking bird as he's driving out. Like I said, I didn't realize because I'm rereading the comics right now, guys, or finishing where I left off, I should say. And like the way that Jeffrey Dean Morgan is perfect as Negan.
Yeah, he plays a great Negan. Negan was a great comic book character. He does a good job.
He's phenomenal.
But yeah, season 7 ends. But yeah, where Ezekiel and them show up when they say they weren't.
Yeah.
They say he doesn't want to.
Yeah, I would say for season 7 it dragged. It felt as I'll call it the governor dilemma, where they dragged this out a lot. The governor was same issue. It took a season and a half. This took 2 whole seasons. But I somewhat understand it. Actually I don't. I take it back. Just because of the fact of they started off the first second of the first episode of this season with Negan. They just needed a season to do this arc. That's all they needed. But they pushed it for 2 seasons.
They put in bad habits and wanted to stretch it.
Oh, we got to put in here. Sasha dies.
yeah, I did put that in there. I forgot. Yeah, Sasha kills herself in hopes that when Negan opens the box that she's a zombie and it kills him, and and it almost works, but I forgot who saves him.
Some random guy.
Yeah, some random.
And he got eaten.
Yeah.
But actually, there's a fun fact. Since I was reading the comics, intentionally in the comics, Negan's like, "Oh, here's your person." Just kidding. I killed him, and it killed someone else in the comics. But obviously in the show, he did not want her to die. Like it was supposed to be a joke. Oh, here she is. She's alive and well in a casket, but that backfired. But it's still accurate to the comics. And then also another fun fact. If you heard throughout the season, you always hear Negan, "Oh, I gotta shave this shit." It was because in reference to the comic book character, he's always clean shaven, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan always wore a beard for some reason, which kind of bothered me because Negan's supposed to be like kind of creepy, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan when he is shaved looks kind of creepy. But I think it just kind of came to a choice where he's like, whatever, I want to have the beard type thing. Yeah. One thing I did not like about this season, it did drag. I mentioned that earlier, but also there's a little thing, but it does matter for being a survival show where Negan had his hair like all like pushed back on the sides and everything like that. But then randomly when we come back to the show, like it wasn't even the finale yet. It was just another episode. He has like a fucking fade, like a fresh fade. And like I was like, what the fuck?
I mean, it only takes a second to get a fade, so who cares?
But it just bothered me. Like it just like no one else is like getting fresh cuts out there, but Jeffrey Dean Morgan did. I was like, that bothered me a lot. But yeah, it ends. Yeah, just that battle, and they carry on with their lives. But then season 8, here we go. It averaged 7.9 million, and this is where we see some true downfall. I think this is the turning point where everyone agreed this is where Walking Dead fucked up a lot. Again, the group is still prepping for the Saviors. Gregory betrays Hilltop, but it doesn't work. Holy fuck, was it? Oh my god, this isn't season 7. That battle shit didn't. That happened in season 8.
What?
When they were trapped in there.
No, it was 7, I thought.
Oh, it was 7?
I think so.
Wow.
Maybe it won?
No, it was 8. Holy shit. Yeah, okay, yeah, so season 7 did drag a lot.
What's
wow.
the finale in season 7 then?
They weren't trapped in yet, but they Negan was coming over there 'cause he was getting a trade. That's what it was. Negan was trading, and they were like trying to ambush him, but it failed.
Yeah, the finale was Sasha. The Sasha thing was the finale.
Yeah, the trap-in happened in season 8. Wow.
Okay, right.
Holy shit. I didn't even realize. I'm looking at my notes right now. Wow, they dragged the shit out of this. But yeah, the Saviors of you already heard that. Trapped in, they escape. Gregory is locked up with the other Saviors post-battle, and is actually eventually hung by Maggie because Gregory tried to kill Maggie. And then the big L, one of the biggest, the number 2 L in the show, the second rated L in the show is when they killed off Carl. I'm going to give some quick highlight points real quick, but we're going to jump right back into that because that is a huge point for the show is where we're on. Saviors eventually escape. Saviors and Negan bomb Alexandria. The final battle happens. It actually turns out Eugene ruined the bullets. Yeah. So then they can win. And then I will give a highlight to this. Lauren Cohan, Maggie, her performance, that little scene when she's like throwing a huge fit with Negan living, that was really good. It didn't feel it was a really good performance, so shout out to that. And then actually Morgan leaves the show, goes on to Fear. That was a point too. But I just want to give those quick highlights before I get into Carl, because this is where the show truly went downhill. Like, they were losing fans already, but majority of people were still pushing for the show. But this is where they fucked up a lot. And the reason is actually complete BS. The actor Chandler Riggs, his father, and Scott Gimple were having some background beef, or I don't know, maybe pay or something like that. They had issues behind the scenes. And Scott Gimple was on a fucking power trip, and it was like, all right, and it killed off Carl because he did not like his dad, or because of the issues between Chandler Riggs' dad and Scott Gimple, and that's why he died. And Carl died like a shitty way. He just got bit, whatever.
So whack.
Bit in the ribs, so there's no way he'd come back or whatever, yada yada. And that ruined the show for several arcs that are coming up. We'll discuss here in a bit. But yeah. That really annoyed me because you need Carl. It angered me because the whole point of the show we saw was Carl growing up to be his own man, and even in the comics, like Carl's like
there was like a passing of the torch.
Yes, yeah, it was just a big frustrating
huge
thing.
L, especially knowing, I don't know, I guess they didn't know Rick was going to leave.
Yeah, they didn't know that. But yeah,
I guess maybe they did because that season 8 he leaves the next season, so I'm assuming he had mentioned it.
But after that fact, though, obviously they would not kill him off.
Yeah,
they would not
that
kill
was
him.
a big misstep by them letting Carl leave. I think they should have sat the producer down, whoever, and been like, bro.
Yeah, it was actually because of that. I think that was a big turning point because what is it called? When you not a raise, a promotion. They promoted or moved
some
Scott.
chick, right?
Yeah, they moved Scott Kimball somewhere else to make him like something else. But they took Angela Kane in there because Scott Kimball again was having a fucking power trip and ruined the show. He truly did. And so Angela Kane took over, and then that's where we get into season 9, where we see some hope and actually average 5.1 million views. And this is where Sean kind of takes over.
Season 9 is after the battle. They meet the Saviors. The Saviors kind of have their own civilization. Some come over with and live in the other ones, but they're basically getting put to work. You know what I mean? All the civilizations are working together to build stuff. The Saviors are having a hard time adapting. Rick is trying to
have everyone united.
Yeah, him and Carol are kind of like trying to handle that. This is the season where Rick dies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a horde going to come over the bridge, so Rick blows it up to save them. Again, it makes no fucking sense to me. It's like, why don't you just set the bridge on fire or set in front of the bridge on fire, and every time they walk across it, they all I don't like.
Well, I watched it.
I watched it too.
But I mean, there's no way he was bleeding out and shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
In that circumstance, there's not much he can do.
I
agree.
It was a super reason to kill Rick, but either way, Rick dies. But we see that he's saved by the
Jadis.
Yeah, Jadis, the trash bitch.
Yeah,
she gets him and put in a helicopter, and he's taken away to forever. Maggie gives birth to Herschel.
Yeah.
This season. She also executes Gregory because she tries.
That was last season.
Was it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes. Sir?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Gregory gets executed. He tries to double cross him that first time too. This time, this is when he tries to trick that family into killing her. Remember?
Maybe it is a season.
Because
they mentioned it.
He tries to convince that family to kill Lydia, or like Lydia killed their son or something.
Yeah, or some shit like that. But
and
anyway,
he tries
maybe
to
it was
brainwash. She almost kills him the first time, and then somebody stops her. Then I think Jesus does, but Jesus dies this season too. But later on, I think in the mid-season finale, Jesus dies. But she executes Gregory. And their whispers are introduced to Lydia. Mm-hmm. Jesus gets killed as well. I forgot why Jesus gets killed.
Whispers.
The whispers killed him, but I forgot why. Or just
because they were in their territory.
Yeah, like they
because they were fighting them and they snuck up behind.
Oh
them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he realized that like one of them had a knife. Oh yeah, I remember that now. Jesus gets killed. The whispers are introduced. Lydia joins their camp. Her mother, Alpha, the leader of the whispers, is not very happy. She starts putting out threats. And they eventually give Lydia back, right? Or they trade her. Or no, they don't. They try to, but Lydia wants to go with them, so she stays or some shit.
What happens is Alpha comes over and is in the fair because they're having a big fair. Because, again, they had a time jump. We got to bring that up. The time jump happened.
Oh, yeah, I do have that in here.
They had 2 time jumps.
6-year time jump after Rick dies.
Yeah.
Right after Rick dies, they jump to 6 years later. The civilizations all aren't working together like they used to. They don't have like a leader like Rick would have been.
No.
They're basically showing that like they needed Rick.
Yeah.
So they're all like, Michonne's running Alexandria, and they're like, oh, we haven't seen the hilltop in years.
Yeah. Because Maggie's not fucking with it.
Yeah.
Because Negan's alive, rotting in the cells they promised.
Yeah.
But yeah, you go on. Sorry.
Oh no, that's what I was just gonna to go on that, and then like you said, Alpha, they have like a festival. To reunite the communities, and Alpha sneaks in and takes a few capture. Henry.
Oh, you did write it down.
Henry, Tara, and Enid. I think it was more people, but those.
Yeah, but those were the main. That's why I wrote down the people that mattered.
And kills them. But was that for her daughter, or was that because they crossed the? Remember, she was like, don't go past this place, and Rick
Yeah.
they had to do it again for some reason, for whatever reason they did it.
Yeah, and that's what it was.
Yeah,
He's like, bitch,
yeah.
I told
she
you.
kills 3 people, and then it's like I said, Henry is
Yeah.
Carol and Ezekiel's son, basically.
Yeah, he was
he was new Carl.
Yeah, he was new Carl, and then they killed new Carl. What the fuck? Like, what are we thinking? I'm gonna let Sean finish.
But yes, he was new Carl. They kill him off. That was a pretty intense. I think season 9 wasn't that bad. I think they kind of got back to what they were doing. There were some things I didn't like, but that's the finale, right? Where the 3 heads.
Mid-season.
Yeah, is it the mid season?
Yeah. Oh, maybe it was the finale.
Well, then I
Okay,
know
that's where my notes end. Is Alpha makes the border, so I think that is the finale.
Yeah. Also, the Georgia's group comes and meets the hilltop. They give them all that info.
Oh yeah, Maggie leaves this.
Yeah,
season,
Maggie
by
leaves
the
at
way.
the end, but they come and show them how to like irrigation. And
Not
all
even
that
the end of this. It was like randomly
towards the end, though.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Maggie leaves with Georgie's group, and Eugene hears a voice
in
finally on the radio.
Mhm.
And
Yeah. Yeah. So, fun fact: one of my favorite episodes is actually Rick's final episode, and they made sure they did that right because they were like, "We got to do a great story." That was a great episode. As I was doing these notes today, I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll just watch this episode." And
Yeah.
I just like kept skipping the Rick's parts because it was bringing all the old kids. They brought Shane. Everyone loves Shane. I love John Bernthal. He had a huge, amazing career since Walking Dead.
He's turning into like a treasure now.
Yeah, he is. Hit podcast, B-list, A-list is over here.
And he kind of like left that show as like nobody liked him. Like nobody liked Shane in Walking Dead.
No.
We kind of like as the show went on, we were like, oh, he was kind of making sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, oh, okay. So this is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Early bird gets the worm, I guess. Well, I guess you fucking die, but
Yeah, gets the knife.
yeah, early bird gets shanked. But fun fact, this is a sad fact. Herschel, that was actually his last acting appearance. Shortly after that appearance in that.
He died in real life.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's a little sad, but it's actually kind of a like some metaphor way, philosophical way. It's cool.
You're gonna cry later.
I am sad. All right, I loved Herschel. Herschel's goat. But yeah, this is what I disagree with Sean. Where this season wasn't bad, I think it was god awful. The second Rick left, maybe the episode or 2 after was okay, but the rest of the season's dog shit. Because I just finished the Whisper Roar arc in the comics, and I know we're comparing and contrasting, but it was pretty boring in the comics, but they didn't drag shit. But the important key things you needed for that was Rick and Carl. Actually, no, I'll even make it easier for you, show.
Just Carl.
You need Carl. You can get away with Michonne or Carol.
Well, in that arc, Carl he was living at the hilltop at the point in the comic book.
Yes.
Right? He wasn't in Alexandria anymore.
Correct.
He had left because he was a man. He was like 17 or 18 at this point.
Yeah, he was like building shit. He was being
he
Smith.
said he wanted to leave because like he was Rick's baby boy
Yeah.
there, so he left. So yeah, you didn't really even need Rick for that. You needed Carl. They really misstepped. And I'll go more into this when we do our closing, but they misstepped leaving Carl.
And then they missed up Carl, and then we got Henry, and I was like, oh, I like Henry.
Yeah, especially
and then
like,
they killed fucking Henry.
Like that's what I was saying too. I would have preferred Carl, but basically they were like, all right, Henry's the new
fucked
Carl.
up.
He's Carol's and Ezekiel's kid. Ezekiel's a leader. Carol's kind of a leader.
Yeah.
So it was like he's new Carl. He had a thing with Lydia.
Yeah.
He beats the fuck out of one of those kids who tries to rape her or whatever. They're trying to do something to her, kill her. I don't know whether they're like trying to rape or kill her, and and Henry fucks them up.
Yeah.
And yeah, like he was cool. And they're like, all right, we're gonna chop his head off.
They took Carl's arc and put it to Henry. I was like, okay, I could do this because that
was
is
the interesting part of the Whisper War too. Like
that was
what
the
made it interesting
because it was like, oh, it's 2 kids in love.
Yeah,
it's also
they love
like,
each
well,
other.
Dad, they also are raping her over here.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
like,
That's what he's saying. Like, Dad, he's like, because he's like, I got to give her back.
Yeah.
Like,
but yeah, and then they ruined that arc, and that's what really pissed me off. Is this is where I really got once Rick left, the show just went to
yeah,
accident.
I do. I mean, when Rick left, the show goes to shit. I just thought this one wasn't too bad. Like, I just thought like after this, it's really bad.
Yeah, 100%.
But they're like, I won't say the season in its entirety was good, but like that when Jesus gets killed, that was a shock.
Yeah, it was a plot
when
twist.
Tara, Henry, and Enid, their heads are on a spike. That's a fucking shock too.
Yeah.
And when they show Alpha like doing it, and then like
that was
taking them in the stable and chopping their head, like that was crazy.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just like letting that particular part kind of overwhelm me.
Yeah.
But I remember that part being really good.
That was intense. Yeah, I will agree with that. Obviously, it did have some highlights, but this is where I think the show started to fumble a lot. Was this the season where it had the weird. Yeah, I think it was like the winter episode. Was that this season?
No, I
it
think that
next
was season 10.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That was like the mid-season finale, right?
That was the finale.
The finale.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, maybe that was season 9 then, with the snow as a finale. Because what was the finale of? The finale of 10 wasn't snow, because we watched season 11 and the first episode was like.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
So it had to be 9.
Yeah,
it had to be
9.
Yeah.
So
but
the
it was like
episode
some weird shit that like. It had nothing to do with what the fuck was going on in the main plot. And then they're like the last 30 minutes, they're like, Negan's like, there's a snowstorm and I got to save Judith. And like that happens.
That was like the next episode.
Oh yeah, Judith or Negan gets out, right?
Yeah.
Negan's escaped. But then like he comes back because the saviors don't want him or whatever. And yeah, you're right. The finale is just like, I forgot why. There's a snowstorm and Judith like wanders off and Negan saves her life.
Yeah. So,
but it was like I said, it was like really out of context.
Yeah,
like it didn't have anything to do with the Whisperer War or anything.
And that's what I think. Oh, next season when they extended episode. Yeah, I mean, I put little star notes just to make sure I wasn't incorrect. Season 10. This is where obviously we all are in agreement.
Season 10 is probably the worst season.
Yeah. 2.9 million watchers.
Wow.
Yeah, it dropped a lot.
What's the average though? What's like?
We'll add it all up. We'll.
No, I meant like in general, like for like. What's a popular show? What do you think's a popular show?
On right now?
Yeah.
Last of Us.
I don't know. That's too popular. Not like something not like the best show out on TV right now. Like what else goes on?
What?
I'll do House of Dragons average viewers.
We can't do fucking Last of Us. We could do House of the Dragons.
Last of Us way bigger than House of Dragons. You don't think so?
I
like
think
popularity wise,
when they both came out.
Maybe not. I'm talking about right now though. Like,
well, that's different.
Were there like there wasn't crazy week to week hype like there is for Last of Us.
For true, Last of Us is goated. What about Peacemaker? You think Peacemaker's a fair comparison?
I don't know. This can't be. I guess this is with streaming services. 29 million viewers.
What? Well, yeah. I mean, for Last of Us.
No, House of Dragon.
Per episode.
Yes.
Jesus.
Says all episodes of the series are now averaging 29 million viewers in the U.S., more than tripling their average.
Per episode or altogether?
It says all episodes of the series are now. No, it's saying every episode individually is averaging 29 million.
Jesus fucking Christ!
But I guess that's something to do with HBO Max. Oh, that's weird because
that's not surprising.
Peak Walking Dead was what, 18?
Yeah.
There's no way more people were watching House of Dragons.
Well, yeah, they're saying now. So probably initially is like.
Oh yeah, I guess now that it's been sitting on the streaming. Okay, yeah, you're right.
They said now. Yeah.
I'm guessing if you calculated Walking Dead's now, it'd be way fucking probably like 50.
Different, yeah. Because
you're right. Yeah, and it's a streaming service, so like. It's like you said, it's stacking up and people watch it. They're watching it. You couldn't watch Walking Dead at your leisure.
Yeah.
You had to watch it on Sunday or Monday. Like with no other choice.
Yeah.
So until season 10, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, season 10, 2.9 million viewers. Negan joins the Whisperers. It's because Carol actually let him out, free to do that. This whole Whisperer thing dragged way too long in season 10 because it had too many episodes. Usually had 16. This one had 22, which is stupid. Introduction to Princess. Negan kills Alpha. The eventual battle with the Whisperers happened, but that was just so boring. Holy shit. It was so boring. Like
season 10 was awful.
It was probably God. Beta versus Daryl, but no one cared. I didn't even care. Like, oh, look at it, cool. Ass fight. Cause like Daryl's like doing like secret agent shit, like oh pop it out, like, shut the fuck up. Like Rick was a main character, and like maybe some of the shit was like little iffy how he's fighting, but it was like realistic enough. Like he was getting his ass kicked and like throwing haymakers, like oh I'm gonna fight for my life type shit. But like Daryl's like making traps like it's Home Alone, like fuck off. Then the war was anticlimactic. Nothing to note. They did the episode. They did a flashback episode where they did that Daryl love story with that Reaper girl. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did that where it was like the Reaper girl. They had that love arc. That's how we got his dog, guys. Now we know how Daryl got his dog. So I was very worried about that. Like I fucking gave a shit. And then he wore sunglasses. This is when Rick left. Norman Reedus was like, I want to wear sunglasses. I want a dog. Like, that's exactly what happened. And that's exactly what the fuck happened. But he was getting paid like $1 million per episode for this. For 2.9 million. That's their whole fucking budget basically.
Well, that's not how that works.
I know, but I'm just saying $1 million per episode with 2.9.
Well, he's getting like 50 cents per viewer.
Yeah. Maggie came back at the end of towards the end of the season with new characters that don't matter at all. Because why are we
new
introducing
villains chasing her that don't matter?
Yeah, because we're ending the fucking show. We already knew it was one more season. That was it. And then the finale was actually Negan's backstory. Like, it didn't even tie into anything. It was just backstory of Negan, which I think was way too late for it. I can't remember it.
Yeah, I thought that was a misstep too. Why didn't they do it like
2 seasons
I thought
ago.
they should have did it when like Carl came, like when and he's telling Carl his story,
or to make it
Judith.
fair. Yeah, I'll say Judith.
right
when
at the
talking,
beginning when
yeah.
they're talking in the prison. Maybe
Yeah.
he tells her then. Like, I don't know. It just seemed waste of time.
Yeah,
you're
that
right.
was such a dog shit
It's
season.
just filler episodes.
It was waste. Ugh, it was so boring. Like, what's with the fucking 22 episodes? Like, I don't give a fuck if COVID happened. Do you see other shows extending their fucking shit? No, we don't. So don't be
What are you
stupid.
doing?
I'm going to season 11.
Oh, okay, so you want me to get going on season 11?
Do you have any more qualms with season 10?
No, I mean, there's nothing much to say. It was terrible. Season 11, we don't have to talk too much about it. We already did an episode.
Yeah, go check
But
it out.
Season 11, I think, was an upgrade from 10, at least.
A lot better. Average 3.1 million, by the way. So we did see up numbers, but it was the series.
It was the finale, so everybody was tuned in. We finally got to the Commonwealth, which is a pretty good part in the comic book.
I'm reading that right now, actually.
They go to the Commonwealth. They join their, half join their society. The other
Yeah.
half don't. Obviously, it's not as good as it seems, and a battle ensues. Like I said, it's just not very much noteworthy stuff happens.
Yeah.
We get no major deaths.
No, my fucking God. Watch the
We
episode,
get really
guys.
no big battle.
No.
No really intense scenes where like you think everybody's gonna die. I
Yeah.
just think it was, I don't know if cash grabs were, they were just trying to close it out and get it done. It wasn't terrible. The story was okay. I just thought like it didn't have that intensity that Walking Dead normally has.
No, it
Like but that might just be because there's just no more characters alive we give a fuck about.
Just kill off everyone.
Really,
then. Fuck it.
besides Daryl.
Kill Carol.
And Daryl, why we like Daryl is he's so cool, calm, and collected. So it's hard to put him in scenarios where like, oh,
He's Rick.
yeah,
he's
like-
not Rick.
So that's what I would say. Season 11, like I said, I won't waste too much time on it.
Yeah.
I thought it was an okay ending. I actually binged through it very quickly. It was an easy watch, I'll say that.
It was a lot better.
It wasn't like
First was rough. First initial parts were rough. The
with
middle
the
was
Reapers,
really good.
The Reapers were terrible.
Yeah.
That
Once
part,
Maggie murked them, that's when it
yeah,
got
that
good
part
again.
was trash. It was like 5 episodes too,
Yeah.
so it was like really waste.
Pointless.
You're
It
right.
was
The middle
fucking
was very
pointless.
good, and the ending was just
Shit.
they built up this powder keg, and we didn't get our money shot.
No.
And I think, as a whole, I think that's kind of how the show was in its entirety. We were just talking about it, where you said like 50% was good, but it went 11 seasons, so 50% can't be good. But I do think, based on this, what we say, season, I would have said season 7, or was their last really good one.
That's
so,
what that's what
so I guess
put.
more than half was good.
Yeah. That's what I put.
And again, season 11, not too much to talk about. We already did a whole entire episode on it as well. But it's just not very noteworthy. They didn't. They finished it all in one season. Well, really like half a season.
Yeah.
Because they wasted 7 episodes on the Reapers,
They could have done fucking Rick.
which was fucking
Pointless.
17 guys with gun. Like
They're military trained. Hoorah.
it was just
We love
stupid.
God. Hoorah. Fuck off. Oh, did you know fucking Negan has a kid and a wife, by the way, in season 11? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the final season was a lot of Negan speeches, Ezekiel speeches, and
Ezekiel's a
Gabriel
speech guy, though.
Gabriel speeches.
Yeah.
It was a lot of just like, we got to be better than this.
Yes, I'm like,
we
do
can't
we,
be the
though?
monsters. We can't turn into monsters.
You did. You turned it to
Yeah,
shit
it's
monsters.
like, stop it.
It was bad. It was rough.
But so I guess we'll just go more in closing now.
Yeah. Do you want to go first with me?
I'll go first since I started,
Overall
so you can
thoughts,
close
yeah.
it out. In closing, like he said, the Carl thing was a huge mistake. These execs, I don't know if these people think that the show they wrote is bigger than the characters. It is not.
No.
Initially, when you first write it, yeah, but once you put a person in the role,
Once you do it for 10 years.
yep,
Yeah.
and it's like these people should have given Rick a blank check and been like, move your fucking family to Atlanta for the
We will
next
buy the house.
4 years. Yes, we'll buy the house, whatever. They should have kept Rick. And the same when this guy wants to kill Carl because he's got beef with his dad, we'll say, buddy, you're fired.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, like, nobody even knows who you are. Carl is, at that point, top 5, 10 most iconic people in TV. Like,
Yeah.
and you killed it for nothing. And he was the future of your show.
Yes.
And I think that ruined it. That was the start of it where they were just getting rid of, like, okay, Maggie leaves, Rick leaves, Carl leaves. It's like,
who the fuck are we doing the show for?
These
now?
were the people, like Rick and Carl, or Maggie and Rick were in charge. Carl was the
Next
apprentice. It's like Michonne and Daryl are just guns.
Yeah.
He's got the sword. Daryl's the right hand man.
Yeah.
Like, they're not leaders. They don't want to be leaders. And like the show just had no direction. And then with Rick not being there, it was like Negan was like this weird, like, oh, I'll do whatever. I could kill all of you if I wanted to, but I want to be good. Maggie hates you. Everybody hates you. It's like this weird love-hate relationship that they couldn't quite seem to make
You
work.
needed Rick there for it.
Yes.
Because that's what separates Negan
Yeah,
and
because
Maggie.
Rick would have been like, either we're going to kill him or everybody, we're dealing with it. He's
Yeah.
a part of us now. And I think the Rick was that figure where, like, he would stop all the shenanigans and be like, this is what the fuck we're doing.
What we saw in season 9.
Yes, we're like, Maggie's like, no, we're going to go, like, we're fucking, Negan's like, dude, you're taking us on a death mission.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Rick wouldn't have, I don't think Rick would have allowed something like that. And like I said, the show had no strong leader for the group. So it was a lot of like half-hearted, half measures where they're just going out on stupid escapades. It just didn't make any sense. And I think it really was Carl not being a part of it. I think they could have lived through Rick being gone.
Yeah.
If Carl was around, but I don't think they should. I would have been like, Rick, like, what do we have to do to keep you? Not this like, oh, we respect you and your family, we're just gonna move on without you. What they thought was like, we don't need Rick.
That's exactly what they thought.
That's what they
That's
thought.
Exactly
and it's like, you
what
needed
they
fucking
thought.
Rick. And I would have told them,
You put it on
bro,
your poster
we'll
every
we will
season.
fucking attach this shit to a helicopter and move this shit to England if we have to.
Like every poster, it's him in the front.
Yeah,
like, I don't know what we're
it's
thinking.
Rick. It's like, he is the Walking Dead. You cannot finish the show without him. But all in all, I guess for 7 seasons of quality TV, 7 or 8, that's not bad. It's an iconic TV show. I mean, I don't regret watching or anything. I regret how it ended, but it's a special place in my mind.
Yes.
And it's a truly iconic TV show. And just because it had a bad few end of the season doesn't negate all the good it was. I just think that it could have been even more epic than it was. And they dropped the ball of like trying to outthink the comic book that was already good and to think that their writers and their producers
was definitely
were
egos.
more prevalent than the people out there like making their show iconic.
Yeah. I want to bring up the Carl thing real quick. Then I'll do my overall thoughts. I forgot to say this earlier. Regarding Carl, when he died, I wanted to bring that up. Remember what I said earlier, how Rick reacted when Carl got his eye shot out and like he just was shut down again. We saw that with Lori, shut down, started killing everything. Shut down, started killing everything. When Carl died, he was like, oh man, that just sucks. Hey, I'm gonna kill you, Negan. And then like it kind of wasn't like that. He didn't go on a rampage.
Well, Negan asked him, he's like, was it the bombs that killed him?
Yeah.
He's like, no.
No.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Negan was like, all right, bet.
Yeah. But like,
well, Negan felt good. That was not. That was like, that's what I was saying. Like Carl had like, Negan had respect for Carl. Like Carl was a respected character who was like had been building himself up to be the heir apparent to Rick.
Whole series.
And I think Rick dying and Carl still being alive and like Carl being thrust into that would have been awesome for the show.
Yes.
And I think they
that would have refreshed
it. If they
it.
have a brain, they regret it.
Yeah.
If they don't, then they're just silly. But I think, like you said, that would have been a good refreshing thing where like,
oh, this is interesting.
Carl
I don't know.
like might have went mad like Rick where he was talking to Rick on the phone. You know what I mean? Like
we don't know.
Yeah, I mean he thought he was gonna leave for Hilltop and Rick dies and he's like, no, I gotta stay and protect my sister Alexandra, and then like he turns into kind of like a savage. Or like you said, like half Rick, half Shane, where like he had that in him, and it's like they really fucked up because they could have did that, and then they still could have did the Whisper arc.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, they just draw like they let egos.
Actually, I think that is their biggest L. I gotta switch it. Rick is number 2.
Yeah, because like the Rick thing, I understand. Okay, maybe they did do that, and Rick was like, you know what, no.
Yeah.
Like, so you know what I mean. At some point, people have made enough money. At that point, they had been paying Rick millions of dollars per episode. So you know what I mean. He'd probably made $50-100 million already in Game of Thrones alone, or not Game of Thrones, Walking Dead. Sorry,
Jesus.
And so maybe they did, but the Carl thing was all ego.
Yeah.
Like I said, maybe they did try and get Rick, or they were like, you know what I mean, logistically they couldn't move the set.
Yeah.
And they were like, fine, we'll let you go. We'll kill you off, you know what I mean, if you really want to go. And then just make us a deal that in 5 years you'll come back and help us out. But the Carl thing was just silliness.
Yeah, no. My overall thoughts for this series is obviously it's one of my favorite shows ever. like I said, even to season 9, I was like, oh, I'll watch this episode. I'll finish it.
Yeah, like I said, season 9, yeah, it is kind of bad, but I would say, like, looking at the major points, some cool things happened that season.
Yeah. The show is very near and dear to me. Obviously, everyone grew up watching it. He's been grown. He's old. But we watched it week to week. Yeah, just a really, really good show. And like most shows nowadays that get to this point of being God tier, like they have this God level audience, that their egos are inflated. Not the actors, but the studio. Maybe some of the actors. Who knows? But the show overall gets inflated, and they're like, we could do whatever we want because we're so popular. But like Sean said, the show is about the characters and the story. It's not about the zombies. No one gives a fuck about the zombies. We care about the characters.
Or the future, right? Yeah. Like we grow connection to Carl.
The people you've been building for 7 years.
That we grow a connection with them, and your world is secondary to that. Like, we wanted to see what Carl turned out to. Was he going to be Rick 2.0? Was he going to be Rick and Shane? Was he going to be a nicer version of Rick? Like that's what we truly wanted to see. We didn't really there's other things we wanted to see, but we wanted to see what Carl was going to grow up to be. Yeah.
So majority of the show, I thoroughly enjoyed. Last couple seasons sucked. What I really hope for, and they seem to still not be learning this after their low viewership. These last couple seasons that they decided, let's put Daryl in Paris, so that obviously they think they're going to get a fucking blockbuster out of that. And then I guess Negan and Maggie are in New York. That's just so stupid. But they are milking it with Rick and Michonne, and if they fuck that up in any way, I think it's going to be a Dexter New Blood situation where it's going to start off strong and end poorly.
Probably.
And it's one of those things, because why are we milking this? But yeah, the show is really good. I really hope future shows take notes when you have something like this. And I think, let's compare another comic book show that's on currently, The Boys. Obviously, very different shows, but written by the same person.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you could say very different shows, but the same writer.
Same writer, and they aren't milking anything. They're gonna end in a season. They said season 4 is not the finale. Season 5 maybe. They said they may push it to season 6.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like you milk it with spinoffs. You don't milk it with your
main
points. Like if it was like let's say Walking Dead, like, all right, you guys are done in 8 seasons.
Yeah.
It's like, just do a fucking spinoff. Like, make sure
you
make quality 8 fucking
spin-off.
seasons. If Rick wants to be done, then you do a Carl spinoff. You do a fucking whoever spinoff. Then it's like, at least like you didn't ruin your iconic piece of work.
Yes.
Like, having a bad ending hurts you on the back end because people won't even start watching.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, they were like on the fence about Game of Thrones, and then when it ended bad, they're like, "Why would the fuck I binge watch it?"
I was gonna say, like,
the ending was. Everyone said the ending was terrible. Why would I? Why would I watch it now? And
I was actually gonna use the point of like Tyron Woodley. It's obviously a big thing, but like Tyron's like a 5-time welterweight, but everyone knows him now from getting knocked out by Jake Paul.
Well, that's same too. Like now, Walking Dead's got a bad taste in their mouth. When people talk about it, they're not gonna always talk about how amazing it was seasons 1 through 7. They're like, man, that shit really petered out. It was kind of ass. It ended ass. Everything you remember is bad. And that's what they did. And like they should have just did 7-8 strong seasons, ended with the Commonwealth. Even fine, don't end with the Commonwealth. End after the Whisper War. End after the League War. And then do a spinoff where it was the Whisper War and no Rick. Like it was just the Kingdom or some shit. I don't know.
But yeah, the biggest disappointment for me was the Whisperer War. Because like we both agreed, season 11 kind of picked up a little bit. For the middle part, like, so it's pretty juicy. But season 10 and second half of season 9, the whole Whisperer arc was garbage, because even in the comics it was pretty boring, but they moved through that pretty quick.
Yeah, it was just that's just how the comics were. It's like even if it was boring, they kind of got through it, so it wasn't a big deal.
And it was a lot of dialogue, but overall, only thing I'm intrigued for is Rick and Michonne. I'm very excited to see that. Other than that, I really don't care about this series anymore. I wish them the best. I'll probably rewatch some early seasons after making these notes and stuff, just because of nostalgia purposes. But yeah, this has been a fat episode, guys. I appreciate you guys watching through this whole thing. Yes, if you watched through
this whole thing, tell us your thoughts in the comments.
Dick.
Down below.
Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. And obviously go check out our other videos and all that good stuff. I don't want to say too much more. You guys have stayed through us this whole episode. We thank you so much. Other than that, I'm Tom. This is Balding Sean. And we'll see you guys next episode. Take care.